Hi, everyone. This is Deborah Bird. I'm with Anxiety Eliminated. I'm a certified hypnotherapist and health coach, and I have a client here with me today, and we're going to be talking about some of her results with hypnosis and also various coaching techniques that I use. So who do we have here today?
My name is Julie Davidson.
And do you want to say a little bit about what you do? I think what you do is so interesting.
Oh, thank you, Deborah. I am the executive director of a school in southwestern Kenya called Nyamboyo Technical School. Uh, and it's a school that was founded by a former partner of mine who is a native Kenyan, and I joined him a year and a half ago in promoting our efforts to educate those in rural Kenya, young people between the ages of 14 and 20, who are living in really the most abject poverty you can imagine, and providing them with vocational training in industries that are vibrant and growing in rural Kenya, as well as entrepreneurship training. So
It's so,
that's what I do.
Yeah, it's so nice to see people creating things that are actually making the changes that are needed on the spot. So that's what I love about what you do. But
Thank you.
anyway, what did you originally come to hypnosis for?
Well, I really originally came to hypnosis at first because I was curious, and I was dealing with what I at the time thought were a variety of what I would call little niggling problems. I wanted to deal with the fact that I always got the munchies late at night,
Mhm.
and just thought that was something that I could overcome. I had certain types of anxiety blocks to working. Although I love to work, it would be very hard to get myself to sit down and do it. It would be hard to concentrate for more than very specific periods of time. And I knew that hypnosis, from what I had read and actually had seen Deborah do some work, um, was something that could help with this. So that's, Deborah, to answer the question, that's why I originally came.
Good. So then we did some hypnosis, and we also did some coaching tools that I do called releasing coaching tools. One of them is welcoming, and these tools I love because they're so good at getting things out at the deep root cause. And
Yeah.
after we went through some of that, what was your experience?
Well, the welcoming I find so extraordinary because you can feel it in your body as it takes you from one extreme to the other. For anyone who hasn't done it, you're welcoming in a negative emotion and then imagining the positive and going back and forth and back and forth. And it's almost as if it confuses your nervous system and until it resolves. You just suddenly feel this immense release. So I actually will use welcoming on my own um, if I'm finding myself in a position of certain types of anxiety, as a release technique. I not only found all the coaching or find all the coaching techniques um, useful, but you do them in a way, Deborah, that allows your clients to then take them and use them on their own, which I find really remarkable. So every time I come to a session with you, I'm ready to move forward because I've been able to reinforce things all week or whatever the period of time between our sessions happens to be. I'm able to reinforce and move forward on my own.
And how did you experience that in terms of perhaps getting to deeper issues? And you can be as general or as specific as you want to. As I mentioned to you, it's up to you.
Well, I felt that everything we were doing was moving me forward, but suddenly it became clear that there was this, I think you referred to it as this nugget of gold underneath that I was sensing we weren't getting to. And in our most recent sessions, we discovered, really to my shock, because I have in a previous incarnation been an actress and a director, uh, that I have performance anxiety. And it doesn't manifest itself. I have no problem getting on stage, no problem getting in front of a group of people and speaking, but it manifests itself in other types of performance. And once we uncovered it, it was as if this thing that has been sitting backstage for years suddenly came front and center, and the anxiety was difficult, hard to confront, but it is releasing. It's going to be a process. It's not all gone. But what I want to say is sort of the horror of it, the secret of it is out, and it's so much easier to deal with. And my life has changed significantly.
And I don't think you'll mind me saying that those origins were in childhood. It wasn't so much in the day-to-day as people tend to think. And most frequently, that's what I find with clients. The origins were in childhood and a little bit covered up and not so obvious.
They were suddenly this memory, which I have never had, of I was not even 2 years old, just overwhelmed me. And I remember in the middle of the session saying to you, Deborah, I know what it is. I mean, I was in hypnosis, and yet at the same
Yeah.
time, out of my mouth came, I know what it is, and
Yeah.
released this memory of pre 2 years old. It was really staggering. And then to think about how I've built on that perception over decades and decades of the world being a certain way, and can now
Mhm.
begin to unravel that and understand that that is an internal reality, not an external reality.
Okay. And then we released on that memory,
Yeah.
and that issue and that imprint. And how do you feel that this has affected your original reasons for coming to hypnosis, which was motivation, concentration, moving forward in your work life, feeling better, not munching?
It's funny, it's affected everything. Everything is so much easier. And it's so easy if, late at night, I suddenly think I want to eat something. And then I think, immediately, no, I don't. No, I don't. I just want to come back into my body. That's what I
Mhm,
really need to do.
mhm,
It has made things so much smoother. And I'm somebody who likes to find a reason for things. And they come very quickly. No, I don't need to do that. So and so
mhm,
didn't mean that. I
mhm,
understand now that that's what this is about. I do feel that we still have work to do.
mhm.
It is an ongoing process, but in large part because we're uncovering such deep and powerful things that are turning into positive energy.
Yeah,
And I see that
good.
every week.
And you had some really nice revelations that I just loved. And there was one where you were feeling blocked, and then after the releasing, you felt like all the blinders were down and you could
Yeah.
see in every direction. And why don't you tell people a little bit about what that felt like to you as someone in hypnosis?
What it felt like, I literally felt like I was a quarter horse, one of those horses you see in New York City pulling a wagon with about this much vision. And suddenly the world looked so much broader and brighter, and there was light, and it was if there was dimension around me that I had never ever noticed, which has carried through uh, since that session. But it
Okay.
was a real
And
feeling of the world opening.
okay. And one of your kernels that we uncovered and I believe cleansed out a bit felt like a ball of fire at first. And then you changed the ball of fire into something that was positive and motivating and gave you empowerment. Can you
Yes.
comment on that a little bit and tell people a little bit about what that felt like?
I think I have learned through this process that negative energy, the whole notion that energy cannot be created or nor destroyed, and that my negative energy transforms into positive energy. It's not like that I'm just releasing what's negative. It's suddenly there's room for so much of what's positive. And I remember that that ball of fire suddenly became a beautiful sort of purple channel of energy up and down. I'm very body oriented too. So I felt completely energized and cleansed, and actually will go back to that feeling if I'm feeling stuck, to open
Good.
up again and to breathe.
Those were some lovely realizations. So,
Yeah.
what would you tell people who think hypnosis is weird? A lot of people think hypnosis is weird or scary, and they're afraid of it, or they don't believe, or on the other hand, they also don't believe that it works. What would you tell somebody like that who's thinking about perhaps, joining on to these services?
What I would say to you is that this is a profound way of coming deeper into touch with yourself, that you will never give yourself anything you can't handle, that the mind knows what your limits are at any time. Uh, you will never reveal yourself inappropriately. This is not the hypnosis that we hear about, done in a large group where everybody takes their clothes off and suddenly discovers they're running around naked and wakes up. You are there, you are in control, but it is a way to allow yourself to delve deeply in ways that your conscious mind may not always let you. And it's profound. I am not ashamed to say that I have been in therapy, and with hypnosis, I would say I move 5 to 10 times faster. This would have taken years to get to if I ever even got there.
Good. Well, thank you very much. Your comments are very beautiful, and they've helped a lot of people understand hypnosis better and what some of the possible results could be. So, thank you very much for sharing.
And thank you, Deborah, for everything you've done and are doing.